Hello and welcome to another Sunday with Sarah. I'm Sarah Baldwin, and I'm here today to talk to you about some of the philosophy behind Waldorf education and the 7-year cycles in human development that the founder of Waldorf education, Rudolf Steiner, talked about. Now, when I first heard these ideas 25 years ago when I began my Waldorf teacher training, the ideas seemed different to me, but now they make so much sense after all my years watching so many children grow and having taught so many classes. So I hope to describe it in a way to you that makes it simple and easy to understand. So if you think about a child's first 7 years of life, so much goes on during that period. So a baby comes into the world, they are kind of at one with their mother and at one with the world. And their physical bodies are still developing, begins in the womb, but after birth, the child's inner organs are still forming. Their bones are growing and getting stronger. The end of this period is usually marked by the change of teeth and the child's losing their baby teeth and the adult teeth coming in. And in Waldorf education, this is a period of time, these first 7 years, that's approached with goodness. We talk about goodness, beauty, and truth. And so these first 7 years, we are trying to teach the child that the world is a good, safe, and loving place. And that's the kind of environment we want to create for them in a preschool or kindergarten, and that I would encourage you to try to create at home, feeling like they came into a kind and loving world. This is one reason we use fairy tales in these early years, is because fairy tales always have a lesson that good always overcomes evil, which is very satisfying for a young child. And during this period, these first 7 years, a child really needs to be in movement. This is one reason we don't teach academics in a traditional way during these first 7 years, because a child is learning through moving his body, through jumping and skipping and swinging and climbing rocks, and also through fine motor skills. So we teach them how to sew and they draw. And we actually know now that a child's brain is developing through large motor movement and through small motor movement. By the end of this 7-year period, a lot of the physical body is now formed. The child is ready to separate more from the mother and become more of an individual. And modern research has confirmed that this is an age, 6 going on 7, that a child now is ready to sit at a desk for a longer period of time and focus. So in Waldorf education, this is when the academic work of learning the alphabet and learning math ideally would begin. Trying to force it, I've talked about this in other videos, trying to force that earlier can sometimes be really detrimental to a child when the different areas, physical, emotional, cognitive, haven't all caught up. By the age of 7, they're entering a new phase of life where those areas are caught up, and this is the age to begin academic learning. And this is the age of beauty. This is the age when a child's imaginative life really comes to life. They're living in a world of imagination, and we want to feed their feelings. It's a very a period of life where their feelings really come into play, and we want to feed those feelings by surrounding them with beauty. So in Waldorf education, we give them beautiful art materials, real art materials, really good quality watercolor paints and crayons, beeswax crayons, and good paper, and teach them handwork. They learn to knit with real wool yarn and natural materials, and this all feeds that child's yearning for beauty. And so this phase of human development lasts from 7 to 14. And during that period, there's what we talk about as the 9-year change. And this is a period where a young child is at one with the world and thinks that the world is a good place. And it's when they tend to become aware that there's also evil in the world. And it's when they start to individuate some from the parent. A lot of children at this age think they can't possibly be related to their parents. They must be adopted. It's an awakening. It's kind of like a mini adolescence. So that's something to be aware of if your child is approaching in their 9th year, like 8 turning 9. And then another major shift happens at the age of 14. So the next period is 14 to 21. And this is the age of truth. Talked about goodness, beauty, and truth. Starting at the age of 14, this is when the growing child or young adult starts to really question what is true. This is when they begin to start questioning authority. It's quite natural. These are the high school years. And so we want to, in Waldorf education, we start having them read books and stories about searches for truth and justice. And it's a very idealistic age. So we want to engage children in that. And this phase of life ends not just at the end of high school, but at the age of 21, which now modern research shows is when the brain is really usually finally developed. The brain is still developing through all those years. And even if a person is legally an adult at 18, we know that their brain is not fully formed at 21. And Rudolf Steiner said that this is when the kind of individual, the ego, he calls it, the person who that child grows up to be really begins to emerge. So that's another nutshell, but also it's important to know these 7-year cycles don't end at 21. They go on throughout our life. There's a period from 21 to 28. And if you look at those 7-year cycles, you often find in an adult's life that those can be pivotal years of personal change and growth in a person's life. So I hope that makes some kind of sense to you, or gives you some insight into the philosophy behind Waldorf education. I know for me, I just find it very deep and remarkable the way that Waldorf education meets a child where he or she is at by honoring that development. So again, if you are enjoying these videos, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel called Sunday with Sarah. And if you have questions for me, I'd love to answer them. Leave a comment below, or you can write to me at sundaywithsarah@bellalunatoys.com, and I'll do my best to answer your question in a future video. So have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.